Hello lovely people and welcome back to theSeoulChic TV. I hope you have been enjoying our first 3 episodes so far, and today, as promised, we are going to have our honorary man, the first one to ever be on theSeoulChic TV. I am so excited. He is no one other than one of my really good friends here. He was my first photographer in South Korea, so I have the honor of having him on our show today, and we'll be dealing with, finding your self-worth, in who you are, and not allowing other people to, or comments from other people to influence you as a person and going for what you believe in. I hope you enjoy it. Again, grab your cup of coffee, cup of tea, and enjoy the show. Welcome. So Maddie, how are you feeling being the first honorary man on theSeoulChic TV?
I'm doing very good. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very honored that you asked me to join you and to interview you today. Just very happy.
Okay, welcome. And so begin, this is Matthew, as I told you guys before, and Matthew and I have been friends for 4 good years. Wow. Yeah, when you first came to Korea, we met over here. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am an English teacher. I lived in Korea for 4 years. I'm from California. I lived in California my whole life, and I came here as a missionary teacher, as well as an English teacher. And yeah, I'm a photographer. I love coffee. I love meeting people, and I just like getting to know people.
I'm glad you admitted to loving coffee.
Yes.
Yeah. So you did mention that you've been in Korea for 4 years. Obviously, that's where we met. So why Korea? This is our $1 billion question.
Well, it's not a long story, but very short. I'll make it short.
Okay.
Well, I studied theology in university, and I was looking for a job, and I was waiting. So I waited, and I wasn't getting any answers from the people I interviewed with. And so I remember in the back of my head that I was interested in coming to Korea, but because life takes different turns, I wanted to get a job in the United States. But I ended up thinking, oh, well, let me see what other options I have. And one day I got an email from one of the organizations I was looking into, and they asked me to, interview, and I said, okay, sure. Well, originally they messaged me, and I was originally not going to go. I didn't want to go to Korea because I wanted to stay in the United States. But something inside me kept telling me, maybe Matthew, this is a different path. This is a way that maybe God has called me to. I said, okay. I thought about it, and I, made sure it was okay with my mom, and I came to Korea I decided to go to Korea in 2015.
May 2013. Yeah.
And so as I got into the process of it, the visa and there was no interview process, mock teaching videos. By mid-July, I was given the green light, and then I had to wait for my visa. We had a little bit of complications, of course, with the United States government and everything.
It's a tough process.
It's a tough process. But those doors opened, and I came in September of 2013.
Yes, that's when I met you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I came in 2013, and I came here with an open mind, looking forward to teaching in Korea. One of the reasons why I came here was to be a missionary teacher and to spread the word of God, but also to learn about a different culture and just to broaden my horizon about different countries, different cultures. I've never been abroad. I've been to Mexico.
So this was
Canada.
the first place?
This is the first place I went to in a different country.
Okay. To live.
To live.
Wow.
To live. Yeah. So I left my family, my mom, my brother, and I got on a plane, and I came here, and I arrived late in the evening with another teacher, and they brought me to the place we were staying, and I was so excited, I'm so excited to be here, and then we started our orientation.
Okay, and so how has that experience been? Was it everything you were excited about, everything you were looking forward to, or were there some bumps in the road?
Originally, it's a 2-week orientation, but because I came late, they gave me 2 days. 2 days.
Yeah.
And 2 days.
I know all about that.
Is a lot of very short time to comprehend and to sort of embrace. See, my English is not good.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been here.
My English is not good
Is
looking.
what is that word? To understand and to comprehend
Everything.
of what it means to teach English in this organization. So in the beginning, I was very excited. I was very happy. Of course, I was jet lagged, so I'm tired. But the adrenaline, the excitement of being here in a different country, that was pushing me through. Once I started getting the information, I knew thought I bit off too much that I could chew. But I just kept telling myself, no, this is where it's going to be. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have fun. I mean, the training was good. It was very informational. It was very helpful. I remember one day, I was sitting in the lobby, and one of the people came up to me, asked me, are you Matthew? I'm like, sure, yeah, it's me.
You need to talk a little louder.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, sure, it's me. And he's like, I'd like to talk to you. Like, oh, okay.
Is this one of like the organizers? Yeah.
One of the main directors at the time.
Okay.
And asked me if I could come see him. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know who you are. I didn't know that was the main director at the time.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, sure. And so he sat me down. Basically, he told me that I can't teach because based on my looks and just the way I held myself, how I positioned myself, they didn't like what they were seeing. So, mind you, I've been only here for 2 days. I've been through orientation. I'm on jet lag. I'm, beyond, not stressed, but just, a lot to take in. And so
when 2 weeks orientation is
2 weeks is a lot. So they cram, 2 weeks into 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
So, given the fact that, okay, maybe there's a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, coming here, I with an open mind, I was like, okay, what do I do? Well, I don't know. This has never happened to me. I never experienced this before. And at the time, I'm like, I didn't understand. But living here, after a couple months, I realized and had to learn, had to understand the way that Koreans think. So, going back to that moment, I called my mom, I called my family, and was like, okay, what do I do? Should I go home or should I stay? Deep down inside, I felt this calling to be here. And I still feel that calling now. And as I look back in the 4 years I've been here, one of the things that really pushed me through, one of the things that really held me was my faith in God, was my Christianity. And in that trust, I said, okay, God, if you want me to be here, then you open the doors, you allow me to be here. And you are the one who's going to be in my place, not me.
Okay.
And so as I said, in the end, they gave me 6 months to see how I did.
Okay. What brought them to the 6 months? Like, first of all, they want to fire you after seeing you for 2 days.
Well,
and then they give you 6 months.
One of my good friends who was there really was a very big influence. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have had a opportunity to be here. So I think it was just through prayers back home, my prayers, and just the benefit of a doubt, I guess, or we'll just try and give him a chance and see what happens. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, if I don't like being here in the next 6 months, I'll just come home. I'll just, I gave what I gave, and I'll just go home.
Did your mom take that well? How they were treating you?
Well, of course. Well, actually, my mom actually also served a year abroad as well. She served in Japan when she was young. But so she understood the distance. But when I told her all this, she just, of course, Mom, she just broke down. And because I am her best son, Jason. Jason's my brother.
Yeah.
I was, I'm the oldest, so her feeling that distance was difficult for her, and to actually see me go through this. She's like, Matthew, you can just come home. Just come home.
Yeah.
I remember her saying, just come home. It's okay. Everyone here is proud of you still, and if you decide to come home, we still love you. Don't worry. It's okay. So, my mom really supported me in my decision, and she was really helpful and very trustworthy in that. So I decided to stay, and I did the 6 months, and I told myself, okay, let's show them. I remember my mom saying to me, and I remember it clearly, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
I love you so much.
And now I'm like, in a way, I was like, Mom, that's really like selfish. That's very prideful. That's what's the word? It's very cocky in a way.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that kind of person to show myself and to prove to people that
I'm gonna let you know that you need me.
I'm gonna You just need to know me.
Yeah.
Get to understand me, and
Look
spend some time
beyond.
and look beyond that. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I'm not the one who's proving. God's gonna be the one that's proving through me.
Okay.
So you do you. Go.
Yeah.
So 6 months, went by really fast. And in the end, they really enjoyed me. I was like, well,
I remember your students loved you.
My students love me. They still love me.
Yeah,
they still
do.
enjoy me.
They enjoy you.
I still hope so. But yeah, it was the first, like, to give you the honest truth, the first 2 months, I felt always like walking on pins and needles. Like every single thing I did was like, I'm being watched, or I'm being, evaluated. And I just kept telling myself, Matthew, don't worry, God is the one that's going to be pushing you.
Yeah, and I think I remember those times, and it was absolutely ridiculous and it's still ridiculous to me that you see a person, you don't give a person a chance to even judge them or give them an evaluation based on their skills, what you actually wanted to employ them for, but you just look at them and that you don't look like the part, you don't look like what we're looking for, and stuff like that. And to watch you go through that and to see you overcome that. And I'll share this with you. I don't know if you'd be okay with that, but I'll share you remember when we went for a retreat, and at that time the organization's, I think CEO at the time, or director, came up and he was giving his presentation, and then he asked you to stand up in front of all these people without your permission, without anything. And it was like, look at him. He's not attractive in any way, but we are proud because he made it. And basically disrespected you in front of everyone who worked at that company, and I was wondering, what is he thinking? Like, how is he feeling? How can someone be so what's the word, inconsiderate, of a person's emotions and disrespect a person like that, and I just wondered, like, how did that make you feel? How does stuff like that make you feel?
I think the right word is uncomfortable. At the time I was uncomfortable, but I really don't remember what the emotions I was feeling. I was just like, what do you do at that moment? You can't really say anything because
it's your boss.
It's my boss, and you're in front of people. I know afterward everyone was like uncomfortable about what they were hearing, and things like that. And so
people came to you.
People came up to me and it's like, oh, yeah,
sorry about that.
Yeah, okay. And it's still rough around the edges a little bit, but I think what I learned about myself, and it was really interesting about myself, and what I've learned in being here, is that people are people, human are human. And as a student of the Bible, as a student of theology, we're all human. We all make mistakes, and I understand that. And we may do things to other people, we may do things to each other that are not good. But there is still some beauty and some grace into that. And so yes, this was done to me, and I remember what Joseph said to his brothers when he says, what you did to me you thought was bad, but actually God intended it for good.
Wow.
And so all these experiences I had, whether it was from the 4 years that I've been here, sometimes some people may think, oh, that's really terrible. It's a really bad experience. Why did you leave?
That's how I feel.
Why did you stay? And Actually, I've been through much worse.
Oh, oh wow!
Yeah.
Now I want to dig deeper.
And the things that happened to me, may look intentionally for bad, but which actually got me for good, and it's actually grown me. It's actually made me a better person who I am today. And I thank you for having the opportunity. Not many people can say that, actually. Being said those things, and being told you can't do something. The opposite is like, oh, let me just do it. So if someone is telling you you can't do something, just do it, because you are the one that is in charge. You are the one who can make the attitude. You are the one that can make it happen. It's not the other person. And so if it is a job interview, if it's a position, if it's a whatever you're doing, and someone's saying, oh, you can't do it, no, don't believe them. Be confident you can do it, because you are the one. You own your life. You do it. And so in learning about myself, like, I came here when I was 22. Okay, I'm 26 now.
Wow.
So that's 4 years of growth.
Yeah, because if someone says stuff like that to me, yes, I'll do it, but I'll do it in, not with them. I'll do it somewhere else so that they can see that, yes, I can survive somewhere else without them, and just prove them wrong in all ways, right? But you stayed with them. And where they gave you 2 days to pack your things and leave, you've been with them for 4 years. That is admirable. Because I can't take half of the things, that were said or done. But I think to be able to understand yourself and to be able to even be loving to them.
Right.
And now people there look up to you. When they need worship leaders, when they need preachers, when they need anything, they call Matthew. Everyone knows Matthew. Everyone loves Matthew now. And to be able to come to that point from 2 days to 4 years, and now you're even staying longer. It's very admirable to me, But you also mentioned that this is not the first time you've experienced something like this. It may not be like in a job setting, but what was it like, growing up? Because I'm feeling like if people were to do that to you blatantly at a job place, then what was it like, growing up and feeling that? Because you have a younger brother,
right,
who is taller and bigger than you. He
Yep.
seems like the older
Yep.
one most of the time and
Yep.
stuff. So how was it like,
Well,
dealing with all of
I really haven't talked about it. I grew up in a Christian home, and I was taught, to respect your elders, to respect those around you, to uplift others, and to be, Christ-like to people. My family, was very strong. We were very close up until maybe high school, university. And my family, to make it very blatant, it broke. So I was studying theology at the time. I was, in university, and I didn't expect, the D word to ever come up in my life. And the D word is divorce. So I was like, I never, oh yeah, I never expected, but in that time when I was in university, my parents, they separated, and my parents separated. My brother was in high school, I was in university, and I was alone trying to cope with all these emotions, all these new things. And so for 2 years, my emotions were just all over the place. And again, as I go back to thinking about God, it's like, okay, God, why did I have this experience? I followed in your footsteps. I followed to be a minister. I did all these things. I've been in church. I lead programs. I do worship. All those things. But why me? Why my family? And again, it goes back to what Joseph said. The things that were intended for bad was actually to bring goodness. And so as I look back in that situation, like my father left me. My father left Christmas time.
So like Christmas time? Wow.
Yeah. And so dealing with that kind of, not say just rejection, but just that emptiness.
Yeah, but you did feel rejected.
I did feel, yeah.
Did you at one point like blame yourself for it?
I did. I actually, my mother actually we had a very difficult situation, and I don't know if I can go into detail because it's still
you
fresh.
haven't spoken to your mom about
No, but my mother was in a situation where we were separated for a time, and it was very hard. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, if I were to do something to myself, for example, maybe if I walked into a car or jump off a building, maybe somehow that would bring my father back. I did contemplate suicide. It was not in a like I'm gonna actually do it, but that's why ever since then I'm never by myself. Once every very few times so I always have to keep people around me just to keep myself on track, because if I were to be alone, then my thoughts tend to take over. Things start to play out, and I'm like,
it's very funny because there was one point where was it Alicia or someone? You remember Alicia? We were wondering, why is Matthew never in his apartment?
Yeah.
It's like you just wander around. You're from one cafe to the other. You're always in these public places. You come home around like 2 a.m. and then go to bed, wake up, and ride out again. And we always wondered, why is Matthew always roaming? And now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I don't think I ever told my mom that I thought those thoughts. I was in a moment, in a time where my whole world was shattered, it was all broken. But again, I thank God that I was brought up in a Christian home. So that faith, again, was the one that really pushed me through, that really brought me through. And of course, my friends and my family members who were, helping me, supporting me. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I would be. I think my whole life actually has been a very touch and go. And it can even go deeper than that. It just, it was my whole life. It's crazy life. But again, as I look back the last 26 years and see how God has brought me from point A to point B, again, I shouldn't be here. I'll even give you the story. I was born on March 23rd, 1991. That was 3 months before my actual due date. So I came into this world at 1 pound 8 ounces.
Wow.
And only 12 inches long.
Oh wow.
So yeah, my father could only hold me in his palm of his hand. I was very small, and my lungs were underdeveloped still, so it wasn't fully developed. And I stayed in the hospital for 4 months. I was home for 2 years with an oxygen tank. And the doctors kept told my parents, oh, he's not going to function well. He's not going to be normal, like a normal baby. But here I am, 4 years, 26 years later. I'm breathing, I'm living, I have everything functioning, my whole body. No health problems. I'm okay. And so, to my parents, I'm actually, to them, I'm a miracle baby. And it's what really, defines who I am, or defines my purpose in life, and why I chose the path that I chose. And that my way of giving back to God and to the world is to be a different kind of person, and to make that difference in someone's life. That no matter what situation I'm in, or no matter who I meet, I want to be that difference to someone else, and that the people that really influenced me, I hope that I can be an influence to them too. And the stories that I have, the stories that I share, that it can help someone else. And we all have stories, we all do, and no matter what stories we have, whether it's bad or whether it's good, someone can learn from that story. And so I've been rejected, I've been left, I've been at the point of not coming back, and to the point of dying, to the point of suicide. I've experienced many things, and these are all stories that I want to share with people, that hey, no matter what you're going through, you're going to be okay. And that if you feel rejected, if you feel that someone's telling you can't do something, don't listen to them, because if you do, you're only going to destroy your dream, yourself, and who you are. Just keep doing it, just keep going, and no matter, reach out to whatever, if it's God or if it's someone else or the support system that you have, reach out to them, because they are the ones that are going to push you forward. And you can make that decision. It's all in your attitude. And so as I've lived here, living here, it was difficult. I look back again from where I was born to now. What really shaped me into who I am is the people, is the experiences, and the time that I have with people. Yeah.
So I know that you and your mom, you've had a rough time together, and you've shared a few of that with me, and you and I can talk for a long time, on these things. And I'm just wondering, is there something you want to share with your mom?
Mom, if you're watching, first of all, I want to say I love you, and thank you for always supporting me, for telling me, encouraging me that I can do whatever I want, for pushing me to my limits and beyond my limits, and then whatever I do, you're always proud of me, and that it's so helpful. It's so thankful for that, and people can say many mothers win the best mother in the world. No, you are the best mother, and I thank you for that, and I thank you for always loving me, for always showing me that love, and for always supporting me. Thank you. Love you, Mom.
Oh, sorry, I'm just like...
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a hard topic to talk about, things that you hide, things that you smile upon, and stuff like that. And I needed this. I know that most people will not think that, Sandra will ever think these thoughts, but 2017 was hard.
Yeah.
It was rough, and I mean, it's not like the only rough patch in my life or anything, but I needed to hear that, not to give up on myself, not to give up on who I am or take my life because of situations in life, and so it really touched me, and I know that there are many young people out there who may be going through things like that, or people who go through things like that because it's real. And like, what do you have to say to them? Like, final words to any young man, any young woman, old man, old woman, who may be watching.
You are loved, you're special, you're unique, you're one of a kind, and you have a special story in this world. And no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what anyone shows you or does to you, know that you are special. If you're on the verge of doing something, do it. Do it, because you can bring that difference to the world. You can influence the world, and you can make a difference. This world needs a difference. This world needs a special kind of love that no one has ever seen before, and you have it. So do that. Do that difference, whatever you want, do it, because you can make a difference. Love the world, love people, and be that difference.
Oh, Matthew, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That was emotional. Thank you. That was an emotional episode. Thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us. And for the rest of you who are watching this is why we're doing this show, just to let you know that other people are going through what you have gone through. And if you're dealing with, people looking down on you, especially because of how you look, remember, your body is not your brain. Your body is not your vision. No matter what you look like, no matter what others think you look like, you are more than that. So get in touch with your mind, get in touch with yourself, and do what you need to do. Do what you're passionate about. Love life, like Matthew said. And I hope that whatever you're going through, whatever you're thinking about doing, you don't go through with it, you look the opposite way. That remember that you too can make a difference, no matter who you are. I hope we see you next week. Enjoy. If you want to be on this show, if you're in South Korea, please leave a comment, DM me, follow me on Instagram, send me a message. But if you're not in Korea and can't be here physically, remember you can also share your story with us through a message. I will have an episode where I can also share some of these stories with other people. I'll just read them, or have you even record a video and send it to us, and we can put something together to share your story as well. Thank you for joining us on our 4th episode. Hope you come back next week. Subscribe, like, give us a thumbs up, and follow. See you next week. I always have